All right, well, good enough to give us some of his time today is Australia's #1 rated lightweight and a man that is on the cusp of one of the biggest fights in Australian boxing history, George Kambosos Jr. We haven't heard from you in Australia for a little while because you spend so much of your time over in the US these days. How are you, my friend?
Look, it's a pleasure to be back on. And I've been waiting to get on Foxsports, and I've been in the US doing my thing. But no, I'm great. I'm here in Sydney, and I'm home, and just going through this COVID period.
Like everyone, your plans or your future plans were derailed with COVID. You were due to face Lee Selby in what was going to be an IBF or WBO rather I think it was WBO or IBF world title eliminator.
It's going to be an IBF official world title eliminator, but again, he's rated #1 in the WBO as well. So it could have been both. Both sides were going to be covered.
So in any case, it was going to be a huge fight against Lee Selby, who, of course, one of the biggest names in the featherweight division over the last couple of years, made 4 successful defences of that belt, has moved up to lightweight. Waiting in the wings, potentially, if you could have got past Selby, was Vasyl Lomachenko. I'll get to him in a minute, but you were due to fight Selby on, I think it was May 9 in Cardiff. That's now been scuppered. Do you think you'll still fight him?
Yeah, look, we're signed, we're contracted, so, we've got to see each other. The next day is July 11th, they've put out there, but I think that's going to change as well. We're mandatory, we have to fight each other. So, we're looking forward to this fight. This is the kind of test I want. This is the kind of fights that, the Australian public need to see, and need to see one of their own out in the big world fighting, the best of the former world champions and the world champions, on the cusp of fighting for a world title. How
big is this fight against a guy like Lee Selby? I mean, for those that don't know, you've just tested yourself against Mickey Bay, who's a former world champion in his own right. Dropped him in the 10th with a beautiful little short hook. I think it was a little uppercut, wasn't it, Georgie?
Yeah, it was my signature uppercut. They caught him, and I actually rolled out after he threw his hook too as he was going down. So it's a sweet science right there.
You've really done it the hard way, going over to the US and basing yourself over there for the last few years, dodging nobody. But I know that the Mickey Bay fight was one that people in your corner, or people that you were close to, didn't necessarily want you to take that fight.
The Mickey Bay fight was a very dangerous fight. You got to think I was already sitting at #3 in the world. I was already in line for a mandatory world title eliminator. But that shows the character I have. I always want to test myself. So I want to show the public what I'm about, and obviously what Australian fighters are about. We have a bit of a bad look over there. They think we're easy beats. So I want to prove them wrong and go over there and take one of their own former world champions in their backyard, in his backyard, and take him out the way it did in impressive fashion.
I want to talk to you about Selby, and then I'll get to your journey to get there in a minute. Obviously, if there is a knock on Lee Selby, and let's not forget, the only reason he lost his belt was because he lost it to Josh Warrington in a split decision that was probably fight of the year. It was an absolute war. But if there is a knock on Lee Selby, it's probably the power. There's only 9 stoppages and 28 wins, and pretty much all of them are at featherweight. So he now jumps up 2 divisions to lightweight. If you're to stand there and bang with Lee Selby, do you think if he catches you clean, he can hurt you? Do you have any respect for his power at this weight?
Look, he's a fighter with 2 arms, so you got to respect that no matter what. He's a former world champion with multiple defences. He was the king of the featherweights, at one stage until losing his belt to Warrington, who's up there with the best. So you got to respect that. But I've been in there with some heavy hitters. I've been in with guys that have tremendous power. So I can't see his power affecting me. He likes to box, he likes to run, he likes to move. I can box very, very well, but I want to fight. I want to give the fans what they pay for, especially in a time period like this where boxing hasn't been on TV every week. I think it's time we give the fans real fights, and exciting fights. So now let's hope for the fans that we stand there and give a good account of both of each other, having a war. And I can't see any way he beats me. If he wants to run and move, I'll cut him down, I'll break him down, like I've done the Mickey Bay fight. But if he stands there and trade, it'll probably even end a lot earlier than what people think.
George, if you get past Selby, you would be the #1 challenger to Vasyl Lomachenko. He's only lost once. It was his first professional fight. He'd won something like 300 odd amateurs without it. There might have only been 1 or 2 losses in there. What makes you think that you can be the man to stop Lomachenko if you get that fight?
Look, well, you see in that loss against Alito, he was put back on the back foot. The pressure, the punch output, he couldn't handle it. And he's been put down by Linares as well, an aging Linares. So,
yes.
A guy like myself, he's got extraordinary speed and explosive punching power, punch from so many different angles. And it's a very exciting fight. And again, he's an all-time great, don't get me wrong. He's in his prime. He's up there with the top 3 pound for pound right now. But that's the challenges I want. I love them challenges. I love, where people say, look, it's going to be a tough fight. You're probably not going to win this fight. That gets me out of bed in the morning. So what better way to have prepared for, a possible fight with Lomachenko with the 250 rounds I've done with Manny Pacquiao, who's also, a very explosive southpaw. So when it comes to any southpaw in the world, I'm 100% prepared.
Imagine what you learned fighting a guy like Manny and doing 250 rounds, incredibly powerful guy at just about any weight that he's fought at, that you can match it with and beat anyone.
100%. The whole plan of that sparring was to see where I'm at. What kind of fighter am I? Am I at that level? An all-time great level where, I'm trading leather with Manny Pacquiao, and not only for myself being in the ring with him, but being with him, seeing the human he is, and obviously the way he trains, what you got to do to be that extra 1% at that world title level. So he's been doing it for so long, and been such a successful fighter in the world of boxing, and that definitely rubbed off on myself. And I was focused on, after I'd done the 3 camps with him, we had to do our own thing. That's why we eventually, split and I went my own way.
Hey, Georgie, you're 18-0, 10 knockouts, never been beaten. You look spectacular in every fight you've had. As you said, you cleaned out your own backyard before you went over to the US and started walking down this path. You're 3 with the IBF, you're 5 with the WBO, and you're 14 with the WBC. Are you Australia's best kept secret in boxing?
I truly believe. A lot of the fans, a lot of Australian supporters know who is the pound for pound 1 fighter here in Australia. George Kambosos Jr. There's nowhere else to look. Look what I'm doing. I've taken the hard road, and I've earned it my way. I've took out everyone here in Australia. Back to back, I took out the best, and then we went to the US, and we made our way through. And look where we are. We put ourselves in a position where we're in line for these big fights. That was the goal. Go over there, and look where we are. We're literally 1 fight away from bringing a massive clash back to Australia. I've had to do it the hard way, and that's the way it's going to continue to be, and that's the way I want to do it.
So Lee Selby still remains the man that you've got to get past for these big doors to open up. When do you think, George, in a perfect world, you might be able to give us details of when and where?
Look, in the next couple of weeks, we should have some more confirmation on the exact date again. I know they had penciled in July 11th, but that's going to obviously get moved again. Look, I'm chomping at the bit. I was already in camp, preparing for him in the US. I flew to the US with my young family. And then obviously COVID-19 had taken over the world, so it all became about how we're going to get back instead of obviously fighting Lee Selby. But look, I'm excited. I'm ready. I've been preparing very hard. I've been training, here in Sydney twice a day. I've been sparring every week. Only, a couple of weeks ago, May 9th, which was the original date, I went and sparred 12 rounds, which is unheard of, for a fighter to do that, so far out from a fight. So that's the kind of professional I am. And, we'll be ready whenever that fight date is. If we fight tomorrow, I'll be ready.
Well, Georgie, make sure when you've got the details, you pick up the phone and give me a ring, because we'd love to have you back on and talk more about it. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, mate. And I hope for your sake and Australian boxing's sake that you get to fight Lee Selby soon, and hopefully bigger and better things await.
100%. You'll be on my speed dial call, and thank you, Foxsports, for having me. I look forward to doing some more work with you guys.